Listen, it depends on you. Do it afraid. Do it alone. Do it tired. Just do it. You know, when you're going to start anything, you don't know how it's going to work. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. You've done the research you could. You've had faith. You believe. You prayed. And now you believe that God has told you to go ahead and move in that thing, right? You don't know how it's going to turn out. And if you allow the fear that's entering your heart and your head, or if you're allowing what the experts say, if you're allowing what family members and friends are telling you to do or not to do, you'll never accomplish it. How many millionaires do you think got to where they got to by allowing people to stop them from doing what they believed in? None of them got there by listening to what people say. Experts will tell you, you can't do that because you don't have the credentials. You can't do that because you don't have the resources. You can't buy that home because you don't have the credit. Listen, when I opened up a seafood restaurant, I have a degree in accounting. I know accounting. I've been doing accounting over 20 years, so I knew that. I had no clue about business. I had no clue about a seafood restaurant, right? But if I allow family members to get in my ear and say, oh, girl, you shouldn't do that. Girl, how you going to, how you going to run the business, and how you going to know where to cook? Where you going to get your supplies from? If I would have allowed all of that to take root in my heart, I would have never started the business. My business was successful for 3.5 years. And I wind up having to close it because with the market, people not really want to pay for seafood. And then having family member and children working for you, they don't see the vision like you do. But again, I did it afraid. I did it not having all the answers. I did it not knowing how everything would turn out. I took a step of faith. I did it afraid. I was like Nike. I just did it. So what is that vision, that dream that you have, the business you want to start? What is the home that you want to buy? But you keep looking at all the obstacles and the what ifs and what are people going to say? How are family members going to feel? What is your spouse going to say? Everybody has an opinion. Everybody in this world is always going to have an opinion about what you do, what you should and should not do. And if you allow the opinions of others to affect your productivity, you will never be successful. What if it's God wants you to be the first one in your family to be an entrepreneur? What if God wants you to be the first one in your family to have a successful marriage? What if that's what you want? And what if you're doing this and taking the necessary steps to work at it? But again, you got people in your ear telling you about why it can't happen and why you should give up and why you should stop. Fear is always going to be there. Fear. Everyone in anything feels fear. Even in the things you have on your bucket list to do, there is going to be a fear. You're not going to know it all, but you have to take the step of faith. What is that thing you want to accomplish? You done wrote the business plan for it. You done figured out all the blueprint for it. You done found the building for it. You know all the supplies you need. You know the supplier, because that's what I had to do. I had to Google and look for the supplier, but I prayed. I stayed in prayer, asking God every day, Lord, show me what to do. Give me favor with people. When I go to this supplier, when I go to this business place, whatever, give me favor with people. God had already blessed me with the resources. So I had the resources, so I didn't have to go to a bank or anything like that for a loan. If I needed to, my credit was good, so I could have gotten it. But I didn't start my business that way. I started off my own bank. Now, hindsight now, I would say that's the dumbest thing to do. You always use their money. You don't use yours. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I'm okay. God took care of me. But you don't know. And it's all dependent on you. Yes, it's dependent on God, but you got to do your part. When he told Mary and Martha them to roll back the stone, that was the part they could do, rolling back the stone. But the resurrecting of Lazarus is the part that Jesus is going to do. You're going to do your part. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You know it'll be victory. You know it's a vision that you've had, and you know it's something you prayed about. You felt the unction from God to tell you to go ahead and do it. You just don't know. But you can't allow fear to keep gripping you. You can't, because you'll never accomplish nothing. You want to be an entrepreneur. It's that you eat, you sleep, you poop it every day. That's all you think about. How successful your business would be. How it would be to be a mother or a father raising children. You see all of those things, but it depends on you taking the first step. Because as long as you keep sitting back waiting on it to fall out the sky or thinking somebody else is going to make it happen for you, you'll never do it. You'll never have it. 3 to 4 or 5 years from now, you'll look back and say, if I would have started then, or if I would have done this then, I would be here. I would have that. You don't want to be one of those people that shoulda, woulda, coulda. So why don't you go ahead and take the step? God is waiting on you. You're not waiting on him. He is waiting on you. Remember this if you don't remember nothing else. Jesus is for you. He said, if you would have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will be able to speak to this mountain and tell it to be removed, and it will move. He said to you in Mark, I want to say 9:23, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to you if you would believe. God said in Deuteronomy 28, he will prosper everything you put your hands to. So what are you putting your hands to? Or are you waiting for a family member, a friend, an expert, a bank, or whoever to give you the okay and tell you, oh, I think you should. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you good enough. Yeah, you smart enough. No, it depends on you. And you got to stop letting people be the metric for what you start, what you do, or what you do not do. Do not be afraid. Do it alone. Do it tired. Just do it. There were many times I was tired at night. Even once I open up the business, you open up business, you got to be there at first because you need to know how everything works. I'm getting home 11, 12 o'clock at night, right? But I still have financials I need to do. I need to book all the expenses from the day, book all the revenue from the day, because I need to keep my books right unless, just in case anybody ever came and audited me. Everything is in order. So I'm up sometime to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm right back up at 5 because I got to go to the store. I got to be there for delivery, or I got to prep. I did it tired. I did it afraid. I did it without having all the answers. But I had my faith. And I stood on the promise of God that he would prosper whatever I put my hands to. So I want to encourage whoever you are, that vision, that dream that God has placed in your heart. Take your seed of faith and believe. Do it tired. Do it alone. Do it afraid. Do it without nobody backing you. Because then you'll be able to say, you know what? You were not in my corner. But look, and it's not that you rub it in their face or trying to belittle them. But you'll be able to say, because of my faith in God, look at what God was able to do through me. Look how none of the people in my family was successful in marriage. But look at what God has done for my marriage. Look at all the people I know who cannot have children, but God has blessed my womb to bear fruit. I want you. Do it alone. It is all dependent on you. I pray that this encourages you and inspires you, because God wants to bless you to be the first one in your family to accomplish that thing. And I want you to move in faith, knowing you're not going to have all the answers. All you have is your faith in the moment. Lean on Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not to your own understanding. But in all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Just like the children of Israel, as God delivered them from slavery, he showed them the pathway to take to get to the promised land. He is going to show you the path, the people, the provision that you will need in order to accomplish that dream and that vision. So my sister and brother, take the step of faith. It is yours. Be blessed.